Welcome at Leaders Law College. In today's lecture, we'll be looking at expository writing. We'll be trying to understand what is expository writing and why it's important for law students. So let's begin with the definition of writing first. Writing is the process of encoding thoughts, ideas, and information into written language. It is one of the most powerful tools humans have for communication, persuasion, and record keeping. At its core, writing transforms abstract thinking into something tangible, something others can read, question, and respond to. Why it's matter for law students? Because all the law proceedings and documents are kept as a written evidence for the coming generation. So that's why it's very important for law students to learn the art of writing. So let's understand what is expository writing. Expository writing is a form of writing that explains, describes, defines, or informs without personal opinion or emotional persuasion. The word comes from expose, meaning to lay something out clearly for the reader. Here are some of the basic things that we must know about expository writing. First thing, it defines, it clarifies what a concept or a term is or what a principle means, or it explains, breakdowns how or why something works or happens. It informs us about present facts, about evidence objectively and accurately, and it helps us to analyze and examine relationships between ideas using logic. As we learn this from the definition that expository writing is a writing without our personal opinions. So it is basically an objective kind of writing where you are not supposed to interpret a thing according to your emotions or according to your feelings. So it is basically a fact based, accurate writing where you define something, where you explain something, where you inform readers about something accurately and objectively. So, what is the purpose of expository writing? Expository writing serves a clear practical purpose to transfer knowledge from the writer to the reader in the most accurate and accessible way possible. And we have discussed this point in the last slide as well. Accuracy is very important in expository writing. So, our first purpose is to educate the audience, inform readers about the topic they may not understand, such as explaining a legal concept. Number two, to clarify, remove ambiguity. In law, unclear writing can mean the difference between a winning and a losing argument. The third purpose of expository writing is to document something, create a reliable, factual record, whether it's a case summary, a legal memo, or a research paper. Fourth, to argue logically. We are supposed to build structured, evidence based arguments that are the backbone of legal reasoning and courtroom advocacy. So, these are the four purposes of expository writing. How we write an expository essay. Expository writing follows a structured approach that ensures clarity and logical flow. Number one, we choose a clear topic and we are we should be specific about the selection of a topic. Number two, after selection of a topic, we research thoroughly. We gather facts and evidence about our topic. Number three, we organize our ideas. We use an outline with introduction, with body paragraph, and conclusion. Number four, we start writing objectively. We avoid any personal opinions, any subjective opinions, or any emotional opinions from our own side. And number five, after writing it, we revise and edit it. We check for clarity, we check for accuracy, and we check for flow. Now let's move on to a document by Cambridge University Press, and let's have a look on an essay for the better understanding of an expository writing essay. In this document, we are going to understand the essay structure and we are going to learn about the introductory paragraphs. And body paragraphs, and the conclusion as well. So an essay is a piece of writing made up of number of paragraphs, usually a five paragraph essay. So as we said in the slides as well, the first paragraph is usually an introduction. The second, third, and fourth paragraph, they are the body of the essay, and the fifth paragraph is a conclusion that concludes the idea of the essay. And each of these paragraphs have three major parts. When it comes to introductory paragraph, an introductory paragraph must have a hook, a building sentences, and then a thesis statement. So what is a hook? A hook is basically an opening sentence. It could be a quotation, it could be a question, it could be a journal fact, it could be fact and figures about the topic. The purpose of hook is to grab the attention of your reader. Then there are the building sentences. Building sentences are the sentences that provide some background information or knowledge about the topic. And there is the thesis statement, and a thesis statement is the very backbone of an essay. It is the most important sentence in the entire essay because it presents the essay topic and the writer positions on that topic. It also indicates the main ideas that will be discussed in the body paragraph. One thing that we must consider while writing a thesis statement that one thesis statement must have at least 3 points for a five paragraph essay. If in the introductory paragraph while writing a thesis statement you have 3 points, then you can discuss these 3 points in three paragraphs of the essay. And then after that, in the fifth paragraph of conclusion, your job is to conclude all these points. Then comes the body paragraph. In each body paragraph, we are supposed to have a topic sentence, a supporting sentence, and a concluding sentence. So as we said this in the beginning, that each paragraph has three parts. In introduction, we have hook, we have supporting sentences, and we have a thesis statement. So in body paragraphs, we have a topic sentence, we have a supporting sentences, and we have a concluding sentence. So a topic sentence is basically the first thought or idea that you are going to discuss in that paragraph. Supporting sentences are the sentences that contain explanation or details or thoughts, anything that supports your main idea of that paragraph. And then in concluding sentence, you conclude your point. Then comes a concluding paragraph. A concluding paragraph includes a restated thesis, a summary of main ideas, and a final thought about the essay. So let's have a look on an essay and let's understand these things. So here is an essay and the topic is explain how an alternate form of energy is being used successfully in the world today. So here the first introductory paragraph. So the writer begins, I would put my money on sun and solar energy. What a source of power. I hope we don't have to wait until oil and coal run out before we tackle that. So you see, this is the hook of this essay. And this is basically a quotation from Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison is the inventor of the light bulb. As we are discussing the alternate source of energy, and Thomas Edison was also the inventor of light bulb. He worked in the field of energy, so his quotation is relevant to the topic and fits here and grabs the reader's attention. So you see the writer has started with a hook which is quotation, then he moved on to some body paragraph. That let me highlight the body paragraph first and then read with you. So in the body paragraph, however, although a time when oil and coal have been completely used up could be getting closer, the full potential of solar power is yet to be harnessed by mankind. Televisions, refrigerators, air conditioners, and all the other appliances common in the developed world require vast amount of electricity, meaning that the world's most powerful countries still very much depend on fossil fuels. In sub-Saharan Africa, Southeast Asia, and the parts of South America, however, solar power is already changing the lives of people. So you can see in these quoting sentences, the writer of this essay is explaining his thought furthermore for the audience. And then comes the most important sentence of the introductory paragraph, which is the thesis statement. And we must consider this in mind that a thesis statement is the last sentence of your introductory paragraph. So let's have a look at this thesis statement. And as we said before, that a thesis statement contains the main idea, and it must contain at least 3 points for the essay, for the body of the essay. So the writer says solar panel is improving people's life in developing countries by providing efficient light safely, linking them to global mobile community and increasing their independence. So we have a 3 points here. By providing efficient light safely, one, linking them to global mobile community, two, and increasing their independence, three. So we have 3 points here. Let's see the all three body paragraphs. Do they are they discussing the same points or are they discussing something different? So the first point is providing efficient light safely. So here we have the first paragraph. The first line, low cost solar powered lamps provide a dependable and safe source of light to people in rural communities who often have no connection to the nation's electricity grid. So you see, the first point from the thesis statement is discussed here in the first paragraph. This is the opening sentence of first paragraph, and the writer has opened it very clearly by stating that safe light is important, and in rural communities where you don't have access to the national electricity grid, so it is the best source of energy. So in the further lines, you can see the writer is discussing this concept of safe source of light. And then he ends it with solar power, therefore, has not only changed people's life, it has also made their life safer. So you see, the opening of paragraph and ending of paragraph is quite similar on the same theme, on the same point. So the second point is linking them to the global mobile community. So let's have a look on the second paragraph. So you can see, starting from here, the power of the solar panel is also being used to help people in developing countries connect to global communication networks. So again, so beautifully, the writer has connected second point to the second body paragraph of the essay. And then the writer discusses the different ways of connecting across countries through networks, mobile networks, and how this can help people. The writer has also mentioned some examples here. You can have a look at these examples as well. You can read it. You can stop the video. You can read it as well. And then the writer has ended this paragraph by this line. Let me highlight it and read it for you. So, by providing a link to the world beyond the old limits of their immediate community, solar power is giving people in developing nations the means to improve their livelihood. So, see, the beginning of paragraph and the ending of paragraph is very relevant, very similar. Third point was this alternate form is making you autonomous, and this is discussed here in the third paragraph. So the writer is saying people in developing countries are able to live their lives with greater autonomy. So this is the third point that the writer mentioned in the opening, in the thesis statement, is discussed in the third paragraph. So now let's move on to the conclusion paragraph. We said this before. In a conclusion paragraph, we restate our thesis statement and then we discuss or summarize all the opening sentences of three body paragraphs and then we end it with a general statement. So let's have a look on it. In summary, solar power is making significant difference to the lives of people in developing world. Okay, by providing safe, clean, and efficient light, it is removing dangers from people's home while brightening their evenings. So this is the first point from the thesis statement, also the opening line from the first body paragraph. So the second line is, in addition, the ability to change a cell phone allows people to communicate with the world and grow their business. So again, the second point from the thesis statement and second uh, opening line from the second body paragraph. Okay, so let me highlight this as well. So the third point, making autonomous from the thesis statement is discussed here. The increased time and money available give people the means to take control of their life and build for the future. So the third point from thesis statement is discussed here. So you see from the beginning till the end, the essay is connected, and what the things that writer mentioned in the opening paragraph are also in the concluding paragraph. So this is basically the comprehensiveness of this essay. So the last general line, the evidence certainly shows that in parts of the world where there is abundant sunlight, harnessing solar energy can be a key to improving the lives of people. So this is the ending of this essay. So you can see from the opening till the ending, the essay is very comprehensive and very connected, and the things that writer mentioned in the very opening paragraph are still found in the even the last paragraph as well. So that's how you can develop an essay. And let me summarize again the things we learned about the expository writing, where we expose ideas, where we expose things, and we write objectively without any emotional interpretations of things. So we have five paragraph essay usually. In the opening paragraph, which is introductory paragraph, we have a hook, we have some supporting sentences, and then we have a sentence or thesis statement. And in thesis statement, we must have at least 3 points to discuss. So then in the body paragraphs, which usually are the three, we discuss the 3 point mentioned in the thesis statement. And then we have the fifth paragraph, which is the conclusion. In conclusion, we restate our thesis statement and we summarize our main points. So this is all about writing an effective and compelling expository essay. Hope you will learn a lot from this video. Thank you so much for your time.